The Sunday school lesson for April 28th, 2024 is Jesus' Mighty Power. Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 through 36. To the viewers and subscribers, welcome to my channel, The Backstory and More. I am Audrey. If you are interested in knowing what happens before each Sunday school lesson, you are at the right place because I will share the backstory, read the lesson text, and offer a brief lesson summary. If this video is of any value to you, please share it with one other person. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for making this channel what it is and what it has the potential to become. The backstory takes us to Matthew chapter 14, verses 1 through 12, John the Baptist beheaded, and Matthew chapter 14, verses 13 through 21, Jesus feeds the 5,000. At that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard the reports about Jesus, and he said to his attendants, "This is John the Baptist. He has risen from the dead. That is why miraculous powers are at work in him." Now Herod had arrested John and bound him and put him in prison because of Herodias, his brother Philip's wife. For John had been saying to him, "It is not lawful for you to have her." Herod wanted to kill John, but he was afraid of the people because they considered John a prophet. On Herod's birthday, the daughter of Herodias danced for the guests and pleased Herod so much that he promised with an oath to give her whatever she asked. Prompted by her mother, she said, "Give me here on a platter the head of John the Baptist." The king was distressed, but because of his oaths and his dinner guests, he ordered that her request be granted and had John beheaded in the prison. His head was brought in on a platter and given to the girl, who carried it to her mother. John's disciples came and took his body and buried it. Then they went and told Jesus. When Jesus received the news that John the Baptist had been put to death, he gathered his disciples and drew away to the eastern side of the Sea of Galilee. But crowds followed, prompting the need for one of Jesus' best-known miracles. 5,000 men, besides women and children, were fed from the meagerest of resources. And yet, there were 12 basketfuls left over. The backstory ends and the lesson begins. Verse 22, "And straightway Jesus constrained his disciples to get into a ship and to go before him unto the other side, while he sent the multitudes away." Verses 23 through 24, "And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into a mountain apart to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. But the ship was now in the midst of the sea, tossed with waves, for the wind was contrary." Verses 25 through 26, "And in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went unto them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, 'It is a spirit,' and they cried out for fear." Verses 27 through 28, "But straightway Jesus spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid." And Peter answered him and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. Verses 29 through 30. And he said, Come. And when Peter was come down out of the ship, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me. Verses 31 through 32. And immediately Jesus stretched forth his hand and caught him, and said unto him, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? And when they were come into the ship, the wind ceased. Verses 33 through 34. Then they that were in the ship came and worshipped him, saying, Of a truth, thou art the Son of God. And when they were gone over, they came into the land of Gennesaret. Verses 35 through 36. And when the men of that place had knowledge of him, they sent out into all that country round about, and brought unto him all that were diseased, and besought him that they might only touch the hem of his garment. And as many as touched were made perfectly whole. A very brief summary. A second great miracle occurred immediately afterward. Jesus sent his disciples away, and he dispersed the crowds. After a time of prayer, Jesus walked to the boat across the surface of a storm-tossed sea. This is remarkable enough, but some commentators see additional significance. Jesus' words as he walked on the water, "Take courage, it is I," literally read, "Be bold, I am." The simple words, "I am," of course, were God's response to Moses when he asked his name, Exodus chapter 3, verse 14. Mark's account includes the strange observation that Jesus was about to pass by them, Mark chapter 6, verse 48. This reminds one of how God responded to Moses when asked to show Moses his glory, Exodus chapter 33, 17 FF. If this was a clear claim to be God, it is no wonder Jesus' disciples worshiped him. After describing these hallmark miracles, Matthew contrasts the reactions to them. The people of Gennesaret flocked to Jesus for healing. The Pharisees and teachers of the law, on the other hand, continued with arguments about legalistic trifles. Thank you so much for listening. Join me soon for the next backstory and more. Stay safe and may God bless.